The Ottawa Home and Remodeling Show returns to the EY Center from today on through until Sunday. Some wonderful presenters right here from our community, and one of those presenters is Kathy McEwan from Second Set of Hands. She is the CEO there. Welcome to the show, Kathy. And this is an exciting opportunity for you. What are you going to be speaking about at the show?
I'm going to be speaking about the do's and don'ts of home organizing. I've got a bunch of before and after photos to show, and I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite organizing products as well. And there's going to be prizes as well. I'll be handing out prizes.
Very nice. Well, let's talk about some of your favorite home organizing products. What products do you often suggest to your clients?
Baskets or containers are probably our number one things that we use the most. And also, turntables are very popular because you can put anything on a turntable to spin. It's easy access. So, we use a lot of turntables as well, and drawer organizers. I would say those are my three ones we use the most.
Well, we're going to pick your brain today because you're going to show us some of the great work that you do. So let's start off in the kitchen pantry, which I don't even want to show you mine because they can look like such a disaster. So let's start off with the before picture of the kitchen pantry, and you could just maybe describe what we're seeing here and what stood out to you.
So this is a typical pantry. We see this all the time. And when I see that, I just think it's hard to reach behind and see what you have behind. So I try to figure out a way that we can organize it that is aesthetically pleasing and also functional.
So here is our after, and there's those baskets you were talking about, right? Very, it,
Yeah.
it just helps organize, and labeling, right, is incredibly important.
Yeah, just it's much easier when it's labeled because then all your family members know exactly where to get the items and where to put them back when they're done with them.
I think this one's an interesting one. You talked about an unpacking job. Tell me a little bit about that unpacking job and what stood out to you.
Yeah, so this is the way the movers left it, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
But the homeowners wanted us to have their home ready so that when they came home, it was actually done for them. So my goal was to make that bedroom inviting for them. So that's what we did.
Very, oh my goodness, it looks beautiful. Next up is the master bedroom closet, which I'm sure there's many arguments, perhaps, maybe arguments is too strong of a word, but many debates in people's homes about sharing those master closets, and of course, organizing being the most important part, Kathy.
Yes, and usually the women win with the largest space in the closet.
They do. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, and this one
So
here is just that it wanted to be more organized and functional for them.
right. So there's the before and there's our after.
And I color coordinated the clothing, and we used some pretty white baskets that she really liked, which was labeled. And we also, you can't see too well, but we put her folded clothes on those shelves, and we used shelf dividers so that the clothes didn't fall over.
You mentioned your topic being the do's and don'ts. Off the top, you talked about some of your favorite products. What about some of the do's and don'ts? What advice can you give to our viewers who are trying to get organized at home?
One of the don'ts is don't go out and buy a bunch of organizing supplies before you've started the decluttering process. That's a big one. People end up with a lot of supplies and they really don't know what to do with them. So I would suggest that you first let go of what you don't need anymore and then see what you have left and then decide what products you would need. That's one.
Okay, and yeah, and spring is on its way, so that's of course a time when many people get started. You mentioned, right there that's a good starting point. What's some other tips for people just getting started on how to do that spring cleanup? Because I think many people sort of start looking at it top to bottom, and it just becomes so incredibly overwhelming.
It is. It's very, very overwhelming, and then they don't know where to start. So that's one of the biggest problems. So I always tell my clients to focus on one room at a time. Don't worry about your whole house. Just focus. If you were to get one room of your home organized, which one would you love it to be? And then start in that room first. And then you just start small. Just start by, if it's a bedroom, you start with a drawer. You don't have to worry about doing the whole thing. And it doesn't have to be what I call Pinterest pretty. Like, it doesn't have to be
Right.
perfect. Anything is better than nothing.
What about the keys to staying organized? Because I think we've all found ourselves in that position where we've cleaned up something, it looks great, and all of a sudden it just tends to fall apart slowly. What is one of the keys to staying organized once you've cleaned it up?
The reason why that it doesn't stay organized is really it comes down to habits. So you have to get in the habit of maintaining it. And even if you start by 20 minutes a day and do something quick and tidy up before you go to bed, it makes a difference. So it really comes down to changing your habits and getting into the
Right.
habit of keeping things tidy and organized. Once you have systems in place, it really shouldn't be that difficult to maintain it, but you have to work at it.
Kathy, thanks so much for joining us. Want to tell everybody you can visit Kathy, by the way, at the Ottawa Home and Remodeling Show at the EY Center. She'll be presenting Saturday and Sunday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.